Able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, well.
Yes, welcome. Good morning.
Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, so here if you see, okay, 1 second. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, welcome.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So yesterday we have faced some issues with file handling, right? I mean, when we are doing file based operations, it was not working. So the reason is the kernel itself, it got stuck, but the same thing worked later when I closed my IDE and reopened it. Okay, so let's see how actually, I mean, we'll recap the file handling in Python. Okay, so second, already have the file handling. Okay, so the first and foremost operation that we have seen is the read mode, right? So we'll create the file object, file obj equals to open of the file name. Okay, open of the file name. So the file name is sampledata.txt is my file name. Okay, so once I given the file name, I just given it in the read mode. Okay, so I'm just doing it in the read mode. So we have seen three methods when it is file reading. So read line, and read lines. Okay, so here if you see file obj dot read, and then here we'll see file obj dot read line. Okay, and then we'll see file obj dot read lines. Okay, so these are the three methods that we have seen, correct? So here if you see, I have okay, so I have this data. I don't know, first of all let me see what is there in the file. Okay, so here if you see, okay, so here if you see, the read has given uh, the entire content. Okay, and then I don't know why this read line is not given. I think something is happening with my IDE. Let me just give me a minute. I'll just reopen this. Okay, so we will see file handling today. Okay, so we'll discuss, I mean, what are all the things that we'll see. So we'll definitely see file handling, and we'll see functions, right? So yesterday we started functions, and I mean, we have done some basic operations with functions, and today we will see some advanced uh, concepts in functions, and then if time permits, we will see the introduction to class and object in Python. Okay, so quickly, if it got opened, so let me try to go here. Okay, so I have this print of, or else let me do this way, data equals to file underscore obj dot read lines. Okay, so print data. Okay, see here we got the data. So now we are clear with read line and read lines. So if we say read line, we know it will print only the first line of our file, and if we say read, it will print the entire content of the file in the form of string. Okay, now let us see how actually your read operator is working, right? So when you say r, that means your file will be considered for reading only. It won't accepts anything. If you try to edit the file, or if you try to write the file, or if you try to add something to the file, it won't accept. Okay, so because you opened that file in reading mode, so you cannot write something or you cannot append something when you open a file in reading mode. Okay, so if you want to append something, if you want to write something to a file, if you want to delete, these are different operations that we do with the files, right? So you have to open your file according to the mode. So that's when actually you can do your required operations on top of the file. Okay, so here if you see, I opened a file in the read mode, and I'm trying to print the data, so it is reading, right? So for example, I opened the file in the read mode, but if I try to write the file, write the data into it, for example, added string, okay, or added line equals to, okay, hello AI, I'm just doing it. So when you say write, right, so you you can pass your line, okay, and it won't return anything. So when you say this, you can simply say write completed. Okay, so you open the file in the reading mode, and you are trying to write to that file. Okay, you're trying to write to that file, write some content to that file. In that case, what will happen? It will throw the exception. Be very, very clear, and it will say not writable, because you did not open that file object in the write mode. Okay, so now let us see, what if my file does not exist in my system, and I'm trying to open that file in the read mode. Okay, so here if you see some ddd, this file is not at all exist in my directory structure. So when we do this, what will happen? So if your file is not there, your read mode doesn't bother, it will raise an exception, no such file or directory. Okay, but when you open your file in uh, write mode, write means w mode, okay, then you will be able to write the data to the file. But remember, your write mode is very different comparative read mode. So here, if you see, let's go and see the sample data. I have Hello AI, Hello GPT in my sample data. Okay. Now, when I go here, I open this file in the write mode, and see here, I'm just trying to write something to my file. Okay. I'm trying to write something to my file. So when you do this, what actually it will do, you'll see it overwritten your previous data. Did everybody observed? This is very, very important, guys. So that means your write mode, when you open your file in the write mode, it will overwrite your existing data, and it will write data freshly into that file. Okay. If your file doesn't there in the system, your write operator or your write mode will create that file and write the data into it. Okay, be very, very clear, guys. So this is the difference. So my sample data underscore d is not there in my directory structure, but when I opened that file with write mode, then it will create that file for us, and then it will write it. Understand the difference, guys. So when you open your file in the read mode, it won't create the file. It will actually tries to read the existing file. If the file doesn't present in the system, it will raise an exception saying no such file or directory. But when you open your file in the write mode, this write mode doesn't give any kind of exception. If your file is there, then it will overwrite. If your file is not there in the system, it will try to create the new file, and then it will write your data into that file. Okay. So that is how your write mode will work. Okay. So now I already have a file, and I want to add something to that file. So read mode will read the data from the file, write mode will write the data to the file, and it will overwrite the data. But I already have a file. I want to append something to that file, or I want to add some data to that file. So in that case, you have to go with append mode. Okay. So now your sample data underscore d file has been created here, and it has some hello AI. Okay. Now in the file handling, what you can do is you can actually open your file in the append mode and then try to write it. Okay. So here I'm adding the new string content. If you see, hello GPT is my string line. And then what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to open my file in the append mode, and I'm trying to apply write operation on top of my file client. Okay. So when you do this, what will happen? Your write will complete, and it will add to your file. Be very, very clear. It will add to the last line of your file. Okay. So if you want it to be in the next line, so in that case, you always have to be very clear while writing your file content. Okay. So try to understand how actually it is going. So when you apply or when you open your file in the append mode, how many times you write the data, it will take n number of times, and then it will try to add to your existing file. Okay. So you also have this write lines method. When you can utilize that write lines method, so let us take an example. I have multiple lines that I need to write, right? So here, if you see, data lines is my variable. Okay. So now, hello Venkat, Hello, AI. Hello, Gemini. Hello, Copilot. Hello, GPT. Okay, so anybody knows these terms, guys? Gemini, Copilot, GPT. Anybody?
Artificial intelligence, right? Chat
Yeah.
GPT. So these are
Yes. Yes. So Chat GPT is the first AI based uh, what I can say chat box that we got, and later on Microsoft released its own AI based chat box called Copilot, and then Google also came up with its own AI based assistant, so which is Gemini. So these are all, I mean, Copilot and Gemini, you can see in your I mean, when you went to office, if you open your laptops, if you open this Internet Explorer or Edge browser, you'll see the Copilot there, which will actually help you in writing the code or whatever you ask, it will return. So similarly, Gemini in our Google Cloud platform, we are going to use this Gemini uh, to build our Google Cloud data platform. Okay, so these tools will really help you guys. I mean, try to start using these tools. So you'll feel little bit surprised when you're using these tools, how these tools are working, how mature these tools are to talk to you, like a human, right? So you definitely feel surprised. Okay, coming back. So here, if you see, I have data lines as a string, and I'm opening my file in the append mode, and then I'm trying to add data lines. Okay, so then if I write it, write argument must be a string, but we are trying to write a list, right? So that's why it has given error. So if you want to try to write a list, you need to use the write lines method. Okay, so here, if you see, where is that sample data D? So it got added, your list. See how it got added. So if you want to make it properly added, so then what you need to do, you need to give slash n in the new line, right? Slash n, slash n, slash n. So slash n meaning new line character. We are asking program to print or to add this by adding a new line. Okay, we have characters, right? So comma, colon, semicolon, like that we have characters. Similarly, if you are clicking enter, right? So here, if you see, I'm clicking enter. So that means your cursor pointer, your pointer is going to the next line, that is new line. For that, programmatically to specify, hey program, go to the new line, go to the next line, and then print. So we use a slash n character for that. Okay, backslash n. So that is what slash n meaning. So what I am saying, so first go to the new line, print hello Venkat, and again the new line, then hello AI, and then again the new line, hello Gemini, again the new line, hello Copilot. So like that I'm printing. So it is your responsibility how meaningfully you will represent your data, guys. Be very, very clear. Okay, so based on the technology, how actually you are utilizing it and how meaningfully you are generating your files is your choice. Okay, so I just want to display something like this. After every string, okay, see this. So you can actually play with these operators, guys. I mean, with file also, you can find different operators, but these are the things that we majorly use. Okay, so when you try to practice, all the functionalities that we have. Okay, so we have seen the read mode, we have seen the write mode, and we have seen the append mode also. Okay, so these are some important modules that we generally use. Okay, so fine, so that's all about the file handling. But yeah, so you find this r plus all those things, but I think we use them. I mean, I never used r plus mode. But if you want to explore, you can explore that r plus. There is some x mode. uh, yeah, there is one more mode called binary mode. Okay, so I don't have any example to show, but you can pass the binary mode if you want to read any kind of images with Python, or if you want to read any kind of binary data with Python. So then you can actually use this b mode, mode b. So b means binary data. Okay, so we will be using this kind of b when we get some image processing, and then when we have some compressed zip content, all these things, right? So to process these kind of files, we'll use this binary uh, mode. Okay, so that's all from me for file based operations. Okay, so you need to combine all the concepts and then start programming, guys. It's not like when we were in lists, I'll only practice lists. When we were in dictionaries, I'll only practice dictionaries. When we were in file handling, I'll practice only file handling. No, you need to form your use case in such a way that, okay, so I'm reading a file, and on top of the file content, I need to iterate line by line, and I will check the condition, and then based on that condition, I'll prepare the collection, and then I'll write it into the new file. So this kind of use cases you need to form. Anyway, end of the session, I'll give the task, that's okay, but you should not get relaxed with whatever we are discussing here. Yeah, that's the end. No, you have to go, and then you have to explore again. If you found something new, yes, you have to practice that as well. Okay, so my suggestion is when you are practicing, do not forget to practice the previous concepts also. Okay, so starting from the string methods, we can use any concept to prepare our use case. Okay, so use case is very important, guys. Use case is very important. Okay, you need to prepare that use case. Okay, I have a file, text file, and I'm reading the text file. Okay, so let us take an example. I'll just on the file handling, I'm just trying to give you one example, guys. Okay, on the file handling, I'm trying to, it's a use case actually. So maybe you can take it as a task on file handling. Okay, you can take it as a task on file handling. Okay, so here if you see what I am trying to do, you have a text file. Okay, you have a text file. See, the text file is sitting in your system like this. Okay, So I'm just preparing the some text content for the task, guys. Okay, so get just give me a couple of minutes. I'll prepare the file and then I'll explain what is the task. Okay. See this, guys. So I have see this data. Try to understand, guys. So you are trying to process a text file and you are trying to derive some value out of it. Okay. So in real time, this is how your logical thinking should work. Okay, you don't get the files. Okay, employee data, department data. Okay, give employees, show me departments. No, you don't get data like that. Do not expect somebody will come to you and ask what is 2 into 2. Okay, no one will come to you and ask 2 into 2 in real time projects. Be very very clear, guys. Okay, so in real time projects, people will come to you with the most complex problems. Okay, so depending on the level of complexity, it may be easy or medium or too complex, but your mind should prepare for the complex task. Be very very clear. Okay, so here if you see, you have a text file. One of the business user came to you because you are the data engineer, and you will be connected to a lot of stakeholders or strategy users who will be analyzing the business data. Okay, so they came to you and they have given this file to you. Okay, so they came to you and they have given this file to you. Okay, so here if you see, this is a log file that got generated from a machine. Okay, now this is a log file that got generated from a machine, and your uh, end user or your business analyst or your data analyst came to you, and data scientist, or it may be a strategy user who has came to you and given this file to you. Hey, Venkat, I have a business data with me, which got generated by my machineries that are there in the manufacturing floor in the business. Okay, so now I want to analyze this data. I need your help to analyze this data. Okay, so here this is the log file, and if you see, this got generated by a machine, so it won't follow any kind of a proper structure CSV or a proper JSON or something like that. The machine will generate a log file. That log file is a pure text file that we will get. Here if you see, when we switch on the machine, it will generate this log called begin, and then it will give this start machine, and then inside that electrical parameters section, I have all my data that is sitting in. Okay, so if you see my data, the machine ID it will give, and the voltage range, power range or current range, and then cable bus, stop time when it got stopped, and then the limit, how the limit of that particular machine, how many quantity it will accept. Okay, so this is the data that I have, and I want you to prepare a proper structure, and I want you to apply some logics on top of this file so that I can analyze the data further. This is what the request that you got, guys. Okay. Now the use case is read the file from the file content and try to apply a processing logic in such a way that if a machine is let me give you what is the output that I'm expecting. Okay, so I'm expecting output in the form of a dictionary. Okay, I'm expecting output in the form of a dictionary, or if you can able to write it into a file, it was absolutely fine. Okay, if you can able to write it into a file, it was absolutely fine. Okay, so here if you see, I'm expecting data like machine ID, comma, okay, voltage range, comma, ampere, cable bus, stop time, limit. Okay, so this is my file based writing. Okay, if you're writing data into the file, yeah, this is the format that I'm expecting. Okay, so the logic is you you need to add a new column for every machine. We need to add a tag saying if it is below or less than or equals to 5, the limit is less than or equals to 5, the quantity of the machine intake is less than or equals to 5, then we have to add a new column saying okay, qty flag. If the limit of the machine intake is less than or equals to 5, then it is actually you need to give the quantity flag as low. This is the string I want to add, low, less than or equals to 5. Okay, structure of the file should be this. Okay, qty flag description. Okay, so low if it is less than or equals to 5, limit less than or equals to 5. This is the logic, guys. So they will prepare and they will explain this logic to you. Okay, so they will come with the proper business use case. Users always come with proper business use case and they will explain these things to you. Okay, so I want a new separate column called quantity flag, or I want a new separate attribute to differentiate between these machines. Okay, so quantity flag. So quantity flag, if limit is less than or equals to 5, the quantity flag column should be low. Okay, and limit is greater than 5, the quantity flag, quantity flag should be 10. Sorry, a quantity flag should be high. Okay, greater than 5 and limit less than 10 or less than or equals to 10. Okay, now this is high. Any other, you can mark it as any. Okay, so this is the logic, guys. So simple, reading this file content. And remember, I don't want to process the extra data. I don't want to process the extra data. This is also one more thing that you need to consider. My program should identify the data between end electrical parameters and start electrical parameters. Sorry, begin electrical parameters. So your program should lift the file content between these two lines. Once it got lifted, then you need to pick the data inside that section. Okay, and then you apply all your iterations or string methods, everything what you know, and then try to prepare a dictionary or a file content like this. Okay, if it is a dictionary, how it will be, it will become list of dictionaries. Okay, if it is a dictionary, dict structure equals to list of dictionaries. So for every machine, one dictionary. Okay, so inside the dictionary, the same structure, machine ID, value, and then voltage range, value. So for each machine, one dictionary, guys. Are you able to understand the use case? Anybody have any questions? Please ask. Okay, so here similarly you need to add the quantity flag in the output dictionary. Okay, for every machine, you need to add the quantity flag. Guys, solving these kind of use cases will increase your coding skills. Be very very clear. So why we are giving this use cases, because we have seen this in real time, and these use cases will help you more, instead of practicing from a plus b equals to 10, and then instead of you have seen a plus b equals to 10 in the classes, and when you went to projects they have given some a square plus b square plus c square, all this stuff. So you should not feel like, oh my god, this is so complex. Here, starting here itself, you should think like, okay, you should be able to solve more complex things, then real time will become very simpler for you. Okay, so learning should be very complex, because I mean, you should take challenges in learning. So be in that mindset, so that you will learn more. Okay, and you will crack a lot of complex things. So any questions in this use case? I have a text file. I'm just sharing it in the chat. Test underscore data dot txt. Okay, so I'm sharing this in the chat box. Oh my god, how to upload this? There is no upload button here. Okay, so first I will copy paste the logic. Please copy paste the logic from your side from the chat box. Okay. No, we don't have an option to upload a file here. Okay, fine. So I'll just copy paste the content, guys. You just try to create your file. Okay. Okay, so now this is the text processing, guys. How you will do the text file processing in Python. Okay, this is the concept. Now tomorrow we will see the structured file processing. Let us say I have a CSV file, and then how to read it, how to process it. Okay, so that concept we'll see tomorrow. But with all the core uh, concepts that you have learned till now: dictionaries, lists, sets, tuples, string methods, variables, the loops, while loop, for loop, and if else, elif, all these statements are there, right? So based on all these concepts, you need to solve this use case. Apply all the concepts, think, sit and think, and apply all the concepts that you have learned till now, and try to solve this use case. Once you have solved it, then the structured file will become very easy. So there is a inbuilt library in Python called pandas, so we can read and play with the structured files. Okay, so the CSV files, all this stuff. Okay, so for now, anybody have any questions in the use case that we have discussed today? I mean, we have seen the file based operations, that's okay, but use case is important for me. We let it get delayed 2 more days, that's okay for me. But you, the, to challenge you guys whether I'm giving proper task or not is important. Okay, so do you, I mean, everybody clear, right, with the use case? Any questions or any queries, you can ask now itself, so that I can solve your. Everybody clear?
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that is the use case that you can solve with file handling process. Okay, so now let's go back to our practical session. Okay, so now we have seen these methods on modes of file handling. Okay, uh, the next step that I'm planning to discuss is the functions, right? So yesterday we have seen um, functions. Okay. I'm sorry. So you can also let me quickly explain something to you, which is interesting.
Hey
Yeah.
Venkat,
Yeah.
I had one doubt.
Yeah.
Can we rename file name?
Yeah. 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 You go ahead and rename whatever it is. The file name is okay. You can rename to whatever file name
No, not
you are
about the task in normal file operations.
okay.
Can we rename the file name?
No, 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 no. You need to if you want to rename. No, no, you cannot.
Okay,
You can read it and write it into the new file with the name.
okay,
Yeah, you cannot rename.
okay.
Yeah, fine. So let's. So in Python we have a package called OS. Okay, import OS. So if you want to utilize your packages or inbuilt packages in the programming, you can use import in Python. So import OS is actually imports the internal libraries class. So if you want to work with your operating system based uh, commands or operating system based operations, you can actually use this OS package. Let us take an example. What do I mean by that operating system based operations, right? So if you want to delete a file, okay, if you want to delete a file, so that is a OS based operation. So here, if you see, if you can go here and right click and then delete, this is what we'll do, right? So but if you want to do that from the program, how you will do that? So here, if you see, it will give you os dot remove. Okay, if you want to remove a file, right? So you can actually use this remove functionality. Okay, so file opening, we I think see, file got removed, and if you go here and see, sample data is out, right? So this, I just want to explain how this remove works. So now you know how to read a file, you know how to manipulate it and then write it, and then you know how to remove a file, so that the entire file handling is the concept will get completed. Okay, so let's move on to our next concept, called functions. Okay, so yesterday we have seen how to create a function, right? And we also seen, okay, okay, so yesterday we have seen functions, and we know how to create a function. So def, using the def keyword, right? And we know how to pass parameters to the function, right? But here, if you see, this is a different way of calling your functions with functions as well, right? So here your add is one function, your multiply is another function, and your add is taking three arguments or three parameters, and your multiply is taking one parameter. Okay, now the callings, see here, I'm passing a as 10 to b as 20, and in the place of my third argument, I'm calling my function also directly. So this is also possible in Python. Okay. So this is also possible in Python. Okay. So you can call your function also when you're passing, when you're calling another function. So the calling of one function inside, another function is also possible in Python. Okay. So this is something that you need to understand. Now, in terms of sending arguments, right? So in terms of sending arguments, I just want to explain some advanced concepts. Okay, so let us take an example. You don't know how many arguments that you are going to pass. Okay, and you don't know what are all the arguments that I'm going to get. In that case, what you can do, you can actually see this. So def sample underscore function. So here if you see, I'm giving 1 star of args. Okay. Okay. So now when you do this, what will happen? The sample function, when you call this sample function of 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6, see all are the arguments. Okay. So when you call this sample function, what it will do, it will take your function, or else it will take your arguments in the form of tuple. You got it? So it will take your arguments in the form of tuple. So when you give the single star, and then if you use it like this, so your, it is not like args. I mean, it should not be like args. So you can actually pass any string here. Okay. So this is one way of passing arguments to your function. Okay. Now another way is there. If you want to pass, key values kind of a stuff, or else if you want to pass a dictionary kind of a stuff, you can actually give double star. Okay. So in that case, what it will do, see how actually it will behave. Emp underscore name equals to king. Emp underscore dpt underscore number equals to 10. Okay. So if you simply print, see the combination of our previous concepts, guys. So at this moment, I cannot go back and explain the dictionaries again. Okay. So how to call your dictionary, and how to extract the key, how to pass everything, you should be able to know by this time. Here if you see, this is how we can pass n number of key value arguments to your function, and you don't need to specify all the values in your function declaration. You just simply mention double star so that it will accept dictionaries. Okay. And single star will always takes the input in terms of tuple. Okay, in terms of tuple. Okay. So here if you see, when you pass vice versa, it will raise an exception. Okay. And this is how you will pass arguments to the function, and how you will call the function inside the function. Okay. And we'll see one more small concept called lambda functions, we'll say. So lambda function is something that actually is an anonymous function, guys. Anonymous, we'll call it as anonymous function. Anonymous function meaning a function which does not have any name. Okay. So let us take an example. X equals to lambda, okay, a colon a into 10, a plus 10 or a into 10. Okay. See here, if I simply print x of 5, see, this is also one way of implementing functions in Python, right? So lambda is a keyword that we'll use to create the anonymous function. So on the fly, it does not have any name. Okay. So for you, yes, you assigned it to a variable so that you will be aware that x is your variable name, and x is some kind of a function that you will be aware. But for a Python program without using def keyword, so when you are using lambda, so def means def space function name we have to pass, right? But here we are not passing anything. Here you are saying lambda, that means it's a function.
So on the fly, it will create a function without any name, and it will apply the logic inside to it. Inside is what? Lambda a. So take this a and apply a into 10. That's it. Okay. So now you can, is it restricted for only one argument? No, you can pass n number of arguments also. Okay. So this is something that I just want. This is a small concept only. So I mean, if on the fly, if you want to create something, you'll use this lambda. But going forward, I'll try to give you more examples on across a lambda when we were in pandas, because there we'll use this lambda very much. So I want you to, just because we are in the functions concept, I just want to introduce lambda, but definitely we'll go deep dive with this lambda functions when we were in pandas. Okay. So because unstructured or semi-structured processing, text processing, we are done now. So we'll do the structured processing tomorrow. Okay. So we'll start pandas tomorrow. So that in that pandas, we will use this lambda functions very much. So in the processing phase. Okay. So I'll do deep dive into this lambda functions there. But for now, it was an anonymous function which doesn't have any name, but it will accept all the parameters and implements the logic and then returns the value to you. So you don't use any kind of a def keyword, or you don't use any kind of a return something, right? So you will just simply specify lambda. So it will take inputs and it will return value for you. Okay. So that is it for today, guys. So here today we have seen how to do file handling with append mode, write mode, and read mode with write lines, write, read lines, read line. All these methods we have seen, and we also seen the function calling and then passing the arguments to the function in the form of a tuple, in the form of a dictionary. Also we have seen, and we also seen this introduction for lambda function. Okay, and the next concentration would be the pandas. Okay, tomorrow we will start with pandas, and then we will jump into the class and object session. Okay, so that's all for today, guys. Any questions or any queries? Respond, guys. Any questions or queries?
Do we have class tomorrow, Anki?
Tomorrow, no. I think 1 minute. Yeah, tomorrow, no. Sorry, because I have some sudden plans. So we don't have any class tomorrow. So we'll have class on Monday. Okay, the next class will be on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah. So if no queries, then yeah. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining once again on Monday.
Thank you.